Another weather front has moved through the Midwest, but it did not bring relief to crops nor to the markets. Joining us now for this week's Bottom Line is Neil Melancon. And Neil, it seems like this weather was just a little too little and a little too late.
It is too late, Avery, just like the rains before them were. For good or for ill, we've moved out of a weather market now and into a harvest mode for most of the country. Even though some corn is still denting out there, overall traders are now wanting to know what the yields are as farmers in the Midwest bring in one of the earliest crops ever. While harvest will continue for quite some time well into the fall, the week-to-week fluctuations we've been seeing will now turn on those yield numbers. As such, we've seen a turn back to higher for the markets after the previous week's downturn. We'll of course see back and forth trading still, but the market is going to trend higher for the foreseeable future due to one thing: supply issues. For the Midwest, it's easy to see where 120 bushel yield for corn is going to mean far less grain going out than normal years. For other places, like here in Louisiana, you saw what the Raley brothers were going through: plenty enough grain, but no place for it to go.
A crop this big on a normal year, you probably would still see some on the ground, but not nearly as much as we have this year. We're looking at having a total of 4.5, 5 million bushels of corn on the ground. Normally, the river would eat up most of this corn. I mean, it would get loaded on barges in harvest, shipped down to the Gulf, and get out of here. This year is just not the case.
The bottom line is, as time goes on, the demand for our grain is only going to be curtailed by the higher prices we'll see in the coming months. I don't think we'll see a serious challenge to this trend until South American acreage numbers come in. And even then, it won't likely be until their harvest is successful that we'll see prices begin any kind of downward trend. What that means for us at the grocery store is inflation of food prices through both 2012 and 2013. So Avery, the biggest price jumps you can expect will be for beef and dairy products.
And with fuel prices already high, families are really feeling the pinch. Thank you very much, Neil Melancon. And remember, you can listen to Neil's and Don Molino's radio reports on the Louisiana Farm Bureau Agri-News Radio Network. For a list of stations where you can tune in or to listen online, click over at our website, twilatv.org, and click on the LF Barn link on the left side of the homepage. Well, that does it for this edition of This Week in Louisiana Agriculture. Be sure to join us next week when Kristen Oakes takes us to the LSU Ag Center's Sweet Potato Research Station, where we could see a new sweeter variety announced for their field day, and you'll want to give it a try. Until then, you can watch any of our stories online. Just click over to our website, twilatv.org. For all of us here at This Week in Louisiana Agriculture, I'm Avery Davidson. Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again right here next week.